Our story begins with the birth of Noah, who enters the world as the 13th son of the royal family, one of the many imperial princes born to the king. When he first opens his eyes, he sees a kind woman and briefly wonders if she is his mother or simply a maid. However, before he can process this, an older bearded man, his father, the king, approaches to inspect the newborn. The king notes that Noah seems to resemble his mother, though she shyly insists that his eyes and eyebrows are the spitting image of the king himself. During this inspection, Noah realizes he can view his own status screen, though the numbers don't quite make sense to him yet. A court mage then steps forward, holding the baby delicately, and announces that Noah possesses a magical affinity for water. The king laughs merrily at this news, declaring that when Noah comes of age, he will rule the southern kingdoms where the water mage clans reside. However, the mood shifts when the mage actually checks Noah's stats. The entire court falls silent, and even the king disbelieves his eyes. Suddenly, screams of a miracle erupt, as Noah realizes he has been born with the stats of an SS-ranked water mage, something completely unheard of for a newborn. 6 years pass, and Noah grows into a healthy young boy. He learns about the kingdom of mirrors, a land that has enjoyed peace for decades under his father's rule. The public adores the royal family, but Noah has little interest in political intrigue because he has discovered a secret unique to himself. He possesses a special gift. He can leech experience points from his subordinates. This means the more maids and followers he has, the stronger he becomes, allowing him to level up indefinitely, without a cap, to become the strongest mage on the planet. Even at 6 years old, his loyal maids note that he behaves more like an adult than a child. While eating breakfast, Noah reflects that his current skills are limited by his young body, but he is confident that rapid training will help him outshine his older brothers. His thoughts are interrupted by his maid, Evelyn, who announces that the crown prince and the fourth prince have come to visit. Noah quickly finishes eating, knowing he cannot keep the crown prince waiting. He enters the guest room and kneels to welcome Crown Prince Albert and fourth Prince Henry. Albert eyes him coldly, asking where he has been, while Henry greets him warmly, praising his courtesy. Albert states that Noah will make a fine chancellor one day and announces he has a present for him. He claps his hands and a terrified servant brings in a small coffin that emanates a deadly aura. Noah is confused, but Albert orders the coffin opened. As the lid lifts, an aura of death erupts into the room, and Noah stares at the sword inside, shaken by the sinister feeling. Albert commands him to pick it up. Noah hesitates, not wanting to touch the blade, but realizes he cannot refuse a direct order from the crown prince. He grabs the sword, which is far too large for his small body. Albert smiles, revealing that the blade is Leviathan, a special sword for water mages. He then chillingly reveals that over 120 people tried, holding it before Noah, and none survived. Henry adds that the curse is so strong, Noah would have died instantly if the sword hadn't accepted him. As the brothers leave, Noah bows, internally raging that his own brother just tested him with a lethal trap for no reason. He knows, however, that speaking out now would only result in his execution. That evening, as Noah prepares for bed, he notices a heavy tension hanging over his personal maid, Zoe. When he presses her for the truth, she drops to her knees and confesses a heartbreaking reality. A flood has devastated her village. Her family is starving, and in desperation, she plans to sell her body in the red light district to raise money. Noah immediately shuts this down. He declares that as his personal maid, she isn't going anywhere. Instead, he creates a fake position for her mother, the rear gate closer, with an absurdly high salary of $5,000 a month, plus a free house in the capital's outskirts. Zoe is left in tears of disbelief. The butler, Dylan, enters just then, and Noah shifts gears from benevolence to business. He orders Dylan to buy up as much land as possible in the flooded region. Dylan is baffled by this terrible investment, but Noah explains the grim truth. If they don't buy it, villains and squatters will exploit the disaster victims. However, the cost is staggering, $70 million. Even with his royal allowance and tax revenue, Noah is $20 million short. Without hesitation, he orders Dylan to sell the land in the south, previously gifted to him by the king. Dylan warns that selling a royal gift is incredibly rude, but Noah brushes it off. He argues that a noble's duty is to sacrifice for the people, and internally notes that playing the martyr is a great way to win public favor. The next morning, as Noah prepares his expedition to the flooded region of Dasa, his brother Henry intercepts him. Henry notices Noah is carrying the cursed sword, Leviathan. He pulls Noah aside and warns him gravely. The sword has a mind of its own, behaving like a mad dog that devours its wielders. He advises Noah not to draw it unless absolutely necessary. Arriving in Dasa, Noah is met with total devastation. He inspects a relief shelter and tastes the porridge being served. It's repulsive sludge. Just then, the local official, Lord Garl, arrives for an inspection. Instead of fixing the issue, Garl ignores the inedible food and leaves to enjoy a private feast. Noah's patience snaps. He confronts Garl, publicly insulting the corrupt official's manhood. Enraged, Garl draws his weapon. Noah decides to test his new gear and summons Leviathan. The sword flies to his hand but immediately rebels, burning him with a sinister aura. Noah grits his teeth, forcing his will upon the blade until he completely dominates it. Now in control, he easily parries Garl's attack and sentences him to death for cheating the people. With a single swift slash, he cleaves the official's head clean off. The guards panic and surround him, but Noah smashes the sword into the earth, creating a massive crater that freezes everyone in their tracks. The chaos attracts Rowan, a knight recently appointed as manager of the area. Recognizing the young prince, Rowan immediately drops to one knee. The crowd follows suit. Noah orders Rowan to fix the food situation immediately. When Noah returns to the capital, he expects punishment for his rash actions. Instead, the king praises his decisive leadership and notes that Noah's stats have grown even stronger. Noah decides to stay in the capital a few days longer. He realizes that this city is the beating heart of the kingdom, teeming with talented individuals looking for work. His plan is simple: recruit these talents to his side to boost his own stats via his unique XP sharing ability. His first target is a young, up-and-coming singer he's heard rumors about named Ali. He heads to the theater with Zoe to see if the girl lives up to the hype. When Ali takes the stage in her top hat, her voice mesmerizes Noah immediately. She isn't the most technically perfect singer he's ever heard, but her passion is undeniable. He realizes that with the right training, she could be a massive asset. However, the performance is violently interrupted when a gang of thugs bursts into the theater. A large, obese man leads them, screaming at Ali to pay her father's debts. When a theater worker tries to intervene, the fatty shoves him aside and jumps onto the stage. He tells a terrified Ali that singing won't pay the bills fast enough and nastily suggests she start selling thirst traps and bathwater online instead. Noah has seen enough. He steps out of the crowd and orders the man to back off. The thug mocks him, telling the kid to go run back to his mommy for some milk. Noah calmly walks toward the stage, citing imperial law regarding the harassment of minors. But the thug just grabs him by the collar, threatening to end his life. Big mistake. With a mere flick of his fingers, Noah releases a menacing purple aura that instantly knocks all three goons to the floor. He draws his sword, and the thugs, realizing they are hopelessly outmatched, scramble to their feet and flee in terror. Ignoring the shock of the crowd, Noah turns to Allie and asks about her monthly expenses. She estimates she needs about $600. Noah immediately offers her a monthly salary of $2,500 to focus entirely on honing her craft. Ali is stunned into silence as Noah encourages her to finish her song. Later that evening, Noah returns to his estate to find the very same goons, bowing their heads on the ground outside, begging for forgiveness. Now that they realize he is a prince, Noah coldly ignores them, telling his maid to send them away. Just then, his brother Henry arrives and agrees with the decision, noting that a prince shouldn't lower himself to speak with such trash. Noah admits there's another reason. Keeping them in suspense will terrify them enough to ensure they never bother Ollie again. Henry then shifts the topic to the elephant in the room, or rather, the giant sword. He is baffled that Noah has seemingly mastered the cursed blade, Leviathan, and asks where Noah is hiding it, since it's too big to carry. Noah stands up and casually summons the massive sword out of thin air. Henry is shocked, asking if he pulled it out of his ass and if it hurt. Noah explains that he simply uses magic to shrink the blade and hides it in his sleeve. Henry sits back down with a thud, speechless that a 6-year-old has trivialized a national treasure that sat unused for 2 centuries. Later that night, Noah heads to a celebration, but spots the persistent goons, still groveling outside his estate. The leader, all fatty, enrages again at being ignored and screams threats. Noah doesn't even break stride. He simply releases a tiny pulse of energy from his sword that brings the man down to his knees instantly. Arriving at the venue, he is welcomed by an elder named Rai. The ballroom buzzes with whispers about the 13th prince. Rai asks about the massive sword on his back, and Noah reveals it is the legendary Leviathan, a gift from the crown prince. This impresses everyone, except one jealous guest who loudly mocks it as a replica toy. Noah doesn't bother arguing. He simply lets the sword's deathly aura leak out, instantly suffocating the entire room in fear and silencing the critic. Noah takes a seat on a small throne, bored by the stream of nobles trying to curry favor, until a man named Alan introduces his adopted daughter, Cindy. Alan explains she was a former slave who showed incredible resolve. Noah takes an interest in them, not just for the story, but because Cindy was the only one sharp enough to sense his power and stay alert during his earlier display. A few days later, Noah goes for a stroll with the 8th prince, Oscar. While browsing a market, Noah finds an old grimoire that instantly boosts one of his stats to S rank. However, the moment he buys it, The book bursts open, releasing a massive summoned monster. Oscar yells for Noah to run, but Noah calmly draws Leviathan. With a single, precise upward slash, he obliterates the creature, leaving Oscar questioning just how strong his little brother really is. A grateful shopkeeper then offers Noah a magical ring. When Noah puts it on, it encases him in beautiful plate armor. Oscar, impressed, insists on paying for it as a gift. Noah returns to the theater to check on the singer, Ali. As he steps out of his carriage, the fatty attacks him again with a sword. Noah effortlessly blocks it with his new ring's shield, while his driver subdues the thug. Inside, Noah finds the security lacking as drunks harass the performance. He decides he's seen enough. He calls over the owner and offers to buy the entire theater. When the owner hesitates, Zoe produces $100,000 on the spot. The owner immediately sells. Noah turns to Ali, telling her the debt is gone, and her only job now is to sing well enough to perform for the king one day. As Ali begins a song dedicated to him, Noah settles into his seat, his dominance over the capital firmly established. And this is where this video ends. Make sure you like and subscribe our channel for the next part.